On the Chapter 6 episode of The Mandalorian, we got to see the Mandalorian link up with his old crew and pull off a job to free a prisoner from a rival syndicate. Now, things took an interesting turn and it gave us a deeper look into our hero's story. And I'm going to continue the conversation on Din Djarin's development in this review and discussion of the prisoner episode of The Mandalorian. What's up, Star Wars fans? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. This is my review of the Mandalorian Chapter 6 episode called The Prisoner, and I'm continuing the breakdown of DJ's journey, just like I've been doing on the previous Mandalorian episode review videos. But if you're new, or you haven't caught those previous videos, I'm going to go into this with 3 questions in mind. Now, I'm looking at DJ's development, meaning what are we learning about his past life? And how does this episode move him on his personal hero's journey? I'm looking at the interaction between DJ and Baby Yoda and how Baby Yoda's story progresses. Also, how does Baby Yoda's story impact DJ's story? And DJ, that's the Mandalorian, Din Djarin. Now, the last thing that I'm looking at is the overall story. Like what's happening overall and how does this connect to these individual character arcs. Now, that last question is one that I feel like some people need to take a long time to think about, because the last 2 episodes were called out as filler episodes, even though they've given a clear message in regards to the 3 themes that I'm discussing in my videos about the Mandalorian. Okay, so this episode took us to a space station where DJ met up with people from his past. They need him along with his ship to free a prisoner who's allegedly being imprisoned by a rival syndicate. Now, I'm just going to get to the real plot. This group is breaking into a Republic prison ship to free another member of their gang. Now, the plot for me was somewhat predictable because I figured out what was going to happen just looking at how shady this group was acting. They needed DJ's ship, the Razor Crest, because it wasn't on anyone's records, and they needed DJ's skills in order to get their prize. Now, since these cats were shady as I don't know what, it was obvious that a double cross was coming. And from that point on, DJ went into full bounty hunter mode, picking the gang off one by one, and then getting some sweet revenge on the Boss Hog dude who tried to play him for a fool. So what did this episode teach us about the Mandalorian? Well, we learned that he used to run with this crew when he was younger. He jokingly referred to their missions as target practice. Also, I think Bill Burr's character was an interesting mirror for DJ, as maybe this might be the kind of person DJ might be had he stayed with this bunch. But what this episode did was show us something about DJ's past, and it allowed us to see how much he's changed since the time when he was part of this group. Now, for Baby Yoda, I mean, we didn't really get to see much of that story arc other than that DJ has grown quite attached to him, and vice versa. Now, there was this part towards the end when the droid Zero was looking for Baby Yoda, and it looked like Baby Yoda was about to use the Force, but DJ shot Zero. And I want to point out that it seems like Baby Yoda innately knows to use the Force in certain situations, and I hope that we will get to see him unleash the Force before this season is over. Now, for the bigger storyline, like right now, the larger arc involves DJ and the Bounty Hunters Guild. Now, there was a holo transmission that was sent to DJ, but we didn't get to see the full message in the episode. And as far as I know, Zero was the only one to hear that message, and Zero was scrap metal by the end of this episode. But if I had to guess, I think that the Bounty Hunters Guild has some big problems, and Grief Karga might be looking to cut a deal with DJ at this point. But I am curious about what the overall story is going to be, though. Like Jon Favreau said that he envisioned the Mandalorian being like Game of Thrones set in Star Wars. Now, I'm not going to try to figure out what that means, but eventually Game of Thrones had a single story arc that pulled all of the character arcs together. But right now, I'm still unclear about what the actual overall story is. Now, I mean, this doesn't bother me because I like seeing these random adventures. I mean, it's actually par for the course with Star Wars shows. I mean, the Clone Wars seemed a bit disjointed in season 1, and so did Star Wars Rebels, until everything came together by the end of the season. But at some point, people are going to need to know like where this is going. And like, I feel like every episode that doesn't revolve around Baby Yoda and really big gunfights, it's gonna piss off the audience to call anything a boring filter if it doesn't have those things that I just mentioned. Meaning Baby Yoda doing something in really big gunfights. But I mean, either way, look, this is my feeling. We have a live action Star Wars show that is really good. The directors all seem to be Star Wars fans, and it's really cool to see them each leave an impression on the episode that they've directed. But I've said enough about this episode, so now I'd like to hear from all of you. For you, did this episode build on the Mandalorian story, or did you feel like this was a boring filler episode with a cool action scene when Mando went into Batman mode when he hunted down that gang after they double-crossed him? So let me know how you felt about the Prisoner episode and why you feel that way down in the comments below, and I will be checking back to see what you have to say. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you can take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Embark on the journey to become the hero of your own story, become a force for change in your community. If you want to help the channel grow, spread the message by sharing this video with your Star Wars friends. But that's all I got for this video, so thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you. Always.